Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me here. My name is Sabrina Benawisha. I'm the curator of modern collections at the British Museum in the Department of Money and Medals. So, the collections are the heart of every museum. They provide an important, that was far too fast, insight into the history of humankind and help to bring people and objects together. They also impart knowledge and fulfill an educational mission. Without them, there would be no research, no special exhibitions, and no object-inspired education. With physical money disappearing more and more from our wallets and everyday transactions, it is crucial to make numismatic collections available to the wider audience and secure them for future generations. Like other cultural organizations, the British Museum is increasing its digital and online content with continuous digital imaging and cataloging of approximately 8 million objects, working towards electronic documentation of the entire museum collection. The collection of the Department of Money and Medals, based on Sir Hans Sloane's original collection of more than 20,000 objects, has been part of the British Museum's collections since its foundations in 1753. Over the centuries, the collection has been enriched by many donations, purchases, and a separate Department of Coins and Medals was founded, which is now Money and Medals, was created in 1860 and is now home to one of the world's finest numismatic collections, housing around 800,000 objects and spanning the history of coinage from its origins in the 7th century BC to the present day. The vast majority of the collection is not on display, but digital records provide access to those objects in many cases for the first time. In 2015, following the radio series book and exhibition, Germany, Memories of a Nation, the British Museum was awarded a prize by an outside body. It was decided to use this to improve the documentation of the German Notgeld collection. These colorful rectangles of paper depicting attractive landscapes and villages and humorous caricatures were printed by towns and cities across Germany during the period of inflation that began with the First World War and ended in 1923, a period of German history that was both well known and hardly known at all in the UK. Dr. Arnold Keller, a pioneer of paper money collection in Germany, classified Notgeld into different periods. He edited a magazine called Das Notgeld during the collector phase of Notgeld issuance between 1918 and 1922, and he compiled a series of catalogs in the years afterward, which still functions as an important resource for collectors and researchers today. In this talk, I will focus on the so-called Serienscheine, the series notes, from the collector phase. In the face of post-war currency shortages, minor cities, towns, and municipalities under German administration supplemented what the government could not supply, their own money to combat cash shortages. These emergency notes, known as the before-mentioned Notgeld, contain a diverse spectrum of imagery and depicting local identities, traditions, and civilizations. Notgeld are typically colorful and richly detailed, portraying landscapes, cityscapes, historic monuments, people and local folklores, and mythology. Size and designs varied from town to town. And rather than just print traditional styles of currency, some municipal governments hired illustrators who created sequential stories on the notes. The elaborate designs of these notes made them very popular among collectors. Remarkably, these stories weren't always boosting patriotic ideas. Instead, they reflected the despair and cynicism of the times with bleak humor. While the artwork can vary from accomplished to crude, it's remarkable that local governments allowed such scathingly satiric commentary and dark whimsy to appear on official currency. In this example from Papenburg, printed in 1921, you can see the Deutscher Michel, on the left, the personification of the German people, wearing a nightcap and being pressured by the Bürgermeister, the mayor, to pay his taxes. The translation of the text below, which I'm not reading in German because it's a dialect I can't speak, says, the money must be taken from the people. You cannot shake it from the trees. The Michel is so poor that he cannot afford food, showing his skinniness and empty pockets. The hidden message behind these images was that the German people were starving, yet they were expected to pay taxes at a time when the German economy was in a disastrous shambles just after the Great War. Many of these notes were issued in series of 6, 8 or more, usually with the same face value, and they tell a short story, often with amusing illustrations. Like this series from Apolda, telling the stories of two spinsters, and the Altweibermühle, the old woman's mill. They're being so old and unattractive, they are chasing away all men only with their appearance. So they decide to visit the local Altweibermühle, a variation of the Fountain of Youth, which turns old women back into young ones. And after a dip in there, they come out rejuvenated and attractive, and you can see even the dog on the 5th picture has a bit of a spring now in his things. And now they're attracting suitors, so something to look forward to in the future. The British Museum holds a large collection of Notgeld, but only a selected amount within the collection was registered by 2016. The unregistered collection was donated by the Carteret Institute of Bankers and consisted of 42 albums containing 11,222 individual notes, all of them dated between 1914 and 1923, and consisted mostly of the aforementioned Serien China. The notes were all glued into the albums without sequence or order and in varying conditions. For this externally funded project, the German-speaking project curator of the Germany's Memories of a Nation exhibition, me, was asked to return as a documentation assistant to take on the task of making these accessible for the general public. So I created records for each of the notes on Excel spreadsheets, which made it possible to bulk upload a large amount of data. I worked very closely with colleagues from conservation who lifted and treated the notes from the previous location in the albums, while photography took images of them. All this information was then uploaded to the museum's database while I rehomed the notes within the existing collection. In total, there are now 22,561 Notgeld entries available and searchable on the British Museum's collection's online research and are accessible to the public. At the end of the project in 2018, the museum's Notgeld collection was fully documented, treated for conservation, photographed, and digitally available for further research, resulting in a successfully PhD, the German Notgeld, 1914 to 1924 by Johannes Hartmann, who works now for the FIZ as I might for the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, and an exhibition, Currency in Crisis, German Emergency Money 1914 to 1924, in the department's temporary exhibition space. This was visited by roughly 50,000 visitors during its 6 months run. This exhibition and the research has further contributed to making this part of the collection accessible to the public and sparking further interest in this intriguing history and period in paper money history. Thank you.
First and foremost, thank you very much for the invitation and opportunity to come here and speak in front of you all. In the picture, we see the result of a question that has been answered by 4,000 Swedish young people aged 16 to 19. The question is, how much have they talked about socioeconomics during last year in school? Only 16% of them answers say they have discussed this a lot, and 58% say that there has been very little or no information at all about socioeconomics. The Confederation of Swedish Enterprise aims to ensure that the emerging generation in their future roles as citizens, employees, or entrepreneurs has a fundamental understanding of entrepreneurship and a desire to create favorable conditions for business. The main message is the economic cycle and the crucial role of companies within it. My name is Sara Wirfeldt, and I work as a project manager in school and youth communication at the Swedish Confederation of Enterprise. Our mission is to create a better business climate, successful companies, and thereby secure jobs and create a better Sweden. Swedish Enterprise brings together 60,000 companies in 48 industry and employer organizations. We are true to our name. We are the voice of Swedish enterprise. We work on issues that are important to all companies, irrespective of sector and size. Since the 1970s, we have developed educational initiatives in labor market and financial literacy. In the process of developing the materials, we take into account the opinions of 3 target groups: teachers, students, and companies. The most important question to ask is, which economic theoretical knowledge is especially important to master as a private individual and citizen? Policymakers, textbook writers, and educators need to understand the importance of teaching strong economic knowledge and using both everyday and scientific language in textbooks and lessons. We create podcasts, board games, fiction books, and non-fiction books to strengthen the education in terms of financial literacy. We currently reach out to a large part of the students in primary and secondary school. And we do collaboration. And this year we started a collaboration with the Swedish Economic Museum. And it's a joint venture that we will launch next year. All our initiatives are available to school staff on our site, eduna.se. The site has been around since 2018, and the materials and productions are now among the largest of the traditional teaching materials in Sweden. We also offer development days for teachers. And in the barcode, you can come to our site. In addition to the efforts towards school, we also carry out direct communication towards the young adults in Sweden. Among other things, through social media, where we explain growth, profit, and the importance of entrepreneurship for our country's prosperity. But we also annually send out the book, shown in the picture, to everyone in the country who turns 18 during the year and thus becomes adults. In the book, we cover important things to consider in connection with adult life, including managing one's own finances and understanding the socioeconomic situation in Sweden. The book also includes an introduction to Ekonomi Fakta, the site that you will tell us more about, Katarina.
Absolutely. So my name is Katarina Wagman. I'm head of Ekonomi Fakta, which is mainly a website. And we use that website to really communicate with the broader public in Sweden. And what we communicate about is the Swedish economy, how it works and functions. We receive about 4 million unique visitors every year, and we're very proud of that number. So I will say it again: 4 million people a year visit our website, and that's more or less half of the Swedish population. So we're very big in that terms. So why do people visit our website? Well, first of all, we've been around for about 40 years, so we're well known. The last 20 years in digital form, in the website form. But we also, or primarily, have a lot of information about various topics. We provide figures and facts about macroeconomic issues, tax issues, labor markets, climate and energy. So you will find more than 1,000 fact sheets on our websites, and that's very often used by students and businessmen and women. So why would then the Confederation of Swedish Enterprise be interested in doing this? Well, as Sarah said, we are the voice of Swedish enterprise, and of course we want the Swedish people to understand and endorse the need for a market economy where companies can grow and act, and together with the public contribute to a strong welfare state. So that's really the long-term goal, to make sure that we have a strong engagement in the Swedish economy and the market economy. So we're more than a website. We also, as Sarah's team, we also provide, and together with Sarah's team, I would say, we provide school materials. This is a very famous book, An Introduction to Economics, by a Swedish famous economist, which we distribute to schools. It's very popular. We also provide statistics, this is from our website, about the likelihood of getting a job from a certain specification in school. So that hopefully could guide students when they are choosing what sort of specialization to in school. We also provide lectures. This lecture is called It Has Become Better. And this is really to encourage young men and women in Sweden that Sweden has become better. We start from when Sweden used to be one of the most poor countries in Europe, and now we are one of the richest in the world. So this lecture is provided by us, but it's given by university students to post-secondary students. So we have, I think, since we started in 2012, we have reached 100,000 students in Sweden who now are encouraged and know that Sweden is becoming better and better every day. So that feels really good. And then finally, we also have recently launched something called Energy Facts, which is really providing the broader public information about current and future energy needs, and this is in the context of the current and recent energy crisis, to ensure that the facts are on the table, and then we can discuss what to do. We want to sort of avoid misunderstandings and misconceptions. So that's really what we do there. So our website is mainly in Swedish, but for you, we have an English version, a short version. So if you would like to see more, you're more than welcome to use the barcode in the corner and have a look. I think that was it for us. Thank you again for having us here, and we look forward to the future collaboration.
Hello, I'm Rochdi Bernoussi. I'm from the Museum of the Central Bank of Morocco. I would like to share with you our museum's 20th anniversary experience. Our objective was to reach a wide audience and to reach beyond the museum and numismatic world. But first, I just want to give you a quick overview of our museum and its history. The museum was first inaugurated in 2022. At that time, the museum was dedicated to the history of money from antiquity to nano days. In 2010, the museum got a major facelift. It now tells a more complete story of the country. In top of the numismatic collection, it shows the art history in our kingdom and relates the history of the major missions of the central bank. In 2011, it has brought its heritage to life through a rich and innovative cultural program suitable for all ranges of audiences, including temporary exhibitions, conferences, and educational workshops. In 1916, we boast our own visual identity, which is a variation of the central bank logo. Thanks to the new identity, we have established a social media presence on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So I show you some parts of our museum: the entrance hall, the numismatic gallery, the art gallery, modern artist, the art gallery, unthought artist, also the art gallery, contemporary artist, the art gallery for Orientalists, then the bank area, Darsika, and now I speak about the 20th anniversary program. On the occasion of the event, the 20th anniversary, the BAM Museum has rolled out an ambition program. The thematic was the relation between art and money, or the artistic part of the money. And we have four exhibitions. The first in antiquity, the second in banknotes in the 19th and the 20th century, then money as art, and the end, the present art in the money. And we chose 4 sites, exceptional sites, in collaboration and partnership with the Ministry of the Culture and the National Foundation of Museums. The first we see in the film. So the museum was inaugurated in 22. 4 sites and 4 expositions. It's a mixing between art and money, and we are looking for money in art. The first site in Tangier, the second in Marrakech, the third in Rabat. 2 sites in Rabat. So Tangier, in a magnificent site, we speak about money in antiquity, the arts among money. We search money, different issues in antiquity, and we compare it to actions artistic actions at modern Moroccan painters. In Roman, Punic, and Barbarian issues. And thematic was divinities, nature, fauna, and architecture. The second thematic was in Marrakesh, the medieval city, the important touristic city, in the palace of Bahia. And here we speak about medieval Islamic money with the inscriptions and how these inscriptions are used in the money from all the medieval period until the modern period. We show different styles of epigraphy, different styles of money, of material, and we compare it to the epigraphy in books, in painters, in several works, and even in architecture. In different dynasties, from the first Muslim dynasties until the monarchy, the Alawite monarchy is the actual monarchy. And we make also, and the third exposition is about banknotes. Banknotes in the 20th century, and we show that banknotes here in Rabat, in the National Foundation of Museums, in the Museum of Art, Modern Art in Rabat, we make an exposition about money, banknotes, and the artistic approach in each banknote, in showing several characteristics of banknotes and comparing them to the artistic artifacts released in the same period with the Orientalist and the Moroccan artists. So the first banknote that dated from 1910. It was the 20 Rial Makhzani. The exhibition crosses several histories: the history of the works of art of colonial documentary and artistic imagery, the history of the banknotes in France and in Morocco under protectorate, and the modern Morocco. You see that it relates architecture, it relates traditional Morocco, but also modern artifacts in Morocco after the protectorate. Those banknotes of the independent Morocco, which are printed in UK. The last one is the modern production. We close this exhibition tour by returning to our museum with the exhibition Darsika Art and Know-how. The exhibition focuses on the evolution of Moroccan mint houses, craftsmanship in terms of design, iconography, and manufacturing process. For while technology has taken over the art of coinage, the creative gesture and spirit remain omnipresent. In 1888, the Makina in Fez, the birthplace of modern coinage in Morocco, issued the first locally made coins. In 1987, the late King Hassan II inaugurated Dar Asika, the Moroccan mint house, but thus affirming the kingdom's economic and monetary sovereignty. Dar Asika currency issued bear witness to Morocco's rich heritage and cultural diversity. Dar Asika also produces commemorative issues to mark major national and international events, like the 20th anniversary model we have stricken in conjunction with the first birthday. Like here, Then also stricken a commemorative stamps in partnership with the National Post Office. Finally, the 20th birthday involved various partners to reach the widest possible audience as Ministry of Youth, Culture and Communication, National Museum Foundation, Regional Directors of Culture in Tanger, Tetouan, Al Hoceima, Regional Directorates of Culture, Marrakesh, Safi, Ministry of Youth also, and Archives of Morocco, King Abdulaziz Al Saud Foundation, and private families. And thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Brenda Luna. I'm the Deputy Manager of Cultural and Numismatic Collection at Museo Banco de México. My presentation is entitled Museo Banco de México, Widening the Circle, Multiple Stories as a Way to Build Trust in the Central Bank. I will present 3 case studies of 3 exhibitions in which the museum participations with other institutions and cultural agents is integrated into a curatorial discourse. United by 3 fundamental axes on which our exhibitions are based: the numismatic collection, the main building, and the function of the bank. This year, the Museo Banco de México celebrates its 3rd anniversary. We reflect on a rich tapestry of programs aimed at fostering community engagement and bolstering societal trust. At the heart of our mission lies a steadfast commitment to placing people at the center of all our endeavors. Inclusivity stands as a cornerstone cultural value. We celebrate differences and recognize the transformative power and diverse narratives uniting communities. Collaboration, therefore, lies at the crux of our initiatives. What do a renowned archaeologist from the 1980s, a burgeoning architectural firm, and a contemporary visual artist share in common? Throughout 2023, each contributed to our public program by delivering engaging lectures at Museo Banco de México, sparking dialogues around our collection and the central bank. The case studies presented in this proposal delve into the curatorial processes underpinning our temporary exhibit, which eschew the notion of singular hegemonic central bank narrative, in favor of fostering conversations around pertinent themes viewed through multifaceted lenses, emphasizing to temporary exhibitions of 2023. These initiatives notably broadened our reach, engaging specialists across diverse themes. Artists spanning different generations and various communities and institutions, while also attracting fresh audience to our museum. Koyolxauhqui Worldview placed emblematic pieces from our numismatic collection depicting the Aztec of the moon center stage, triggering a dialogue on Mexican identity and ancestral heritage. This exhibition serves as a nostalgic journey into the past, connecting with the Aztec civilizations with inviting contemporary artists to offer new interpretations of the goddess iconography, exploring themes relevant to society such as unity and resilience. Collaborations with archaeological institutions, researchers, collectors, galleries, and museums facilitate the realization of these projects, fostering ongoing conversations and organizational knowledge sharing long after the exhibition's conclusions. Architectural integration delve into the historical and cultural context surrounding our 100-year-old building, the iconic headquarters of the central bank. Through archival materials and collaborations with young architects and artists, we uncovered the building's origins while arousing fresh perspectives. This exhibition became a convergence point of historians, architects, urban planners, students, educators, and other institutions, offering new insights into the central bank heritage and illuminating previously untold histories. The pinnacle of our commitment to diverse voices is epitomized in angles and perspectives. This exhibition showcases artwork created from shared banknotes, a byproduct of banknote making process. 44 pieces offer varied interpretation, encapsulating a multitude of perspectives. This program has set an example in terms of sustainability, complemented by conferences, workshops, and banknote factory visit. This initiative not only enriched our art collection, but also fostered deeper public engagement with the banknote design and production process. You can see in this picture the background, which is created with shared banknotes, and in the front, there's the strips that are also leftovers, also from the banknotes, and are used to create an artwork. Okay, we already have in this program 125 artists. Okay, beyond our museum walls, we extend our reach through itinerary temporary exhibit like Banknote Family, Heritage, and Technology in Your Hands. Designed to be flexible and interactive, this exhibition travels to diverse venues, promoting financial literacy, numismatics, and economic history beyond traditional museum settings. Okay, these endeavors underscore our commitment to bridging gaps, fostering dialogue, and creating enduring connections between individuals and their central bank. Museo Banco de México serves as a beacon of inclusivity where diverse voices converge and meaningful experiences are cultivated. Since it's open on 2021 until today, the museum has welcomed 388,094 visitors, a testament to the resonance of our effort in cultivating multidirectional dialogue and memorable experiences. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I'm Cecile Gilicame. I head the Museo Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And this is my first time to present for ICOMON, so I'm grateful for this opportunity. They say save the best for last. But I think in my case, I was the last to submit an abstract. So thank you very much for your patience. Allow me to present some of our digital initiatives and collaboration focused at utilizing collections for promotions and education. So these efforts have persisted, even though our museum remains closed for its ongoing renovation. The Museo BSP, or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, is one of the leading numismatic and arts collection in the Philippines and holds about 16,000 varying objects. We hold some of the Philippines' most important cultural collections, such as paintings from the 17th century to contemporary, like the works of Philippine masters Juan Luna and Felix Resurrección Hidalgo. We have pre-colonial gold. We have antique furnitures and numismatic objects dating back to 9th to 13th century. Established in the 1970s, initially as a money museum, the collection of the Museo Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas expanded in the 1980s, and thus our continuing mission to this day is to collect examples of significant numismatic items and fine arts to ensure that they are preserved and remain accessible to the public and future generations. The BSP accelerated its digital shift in 2020. This was particularly evident in the bank's initiatives on banking, payments, and settlement systems to meet the evolving needs of the society, especially during the pandemic. And this digital momentum extended to the museum, most notably during the temporary closure in 2020 at the peak of the COVID-19. And to continue to provide access to the collection, we introduced a series of digital programs, allowing the public to continue to explore and enjoy the bank's rich collection. In this temporary closure of the museum, the digital space emerged as our pivotal platform for public access and engagements. And this shift not only broadened our audience reach, but it helped in the continued collaborations with other museums, despite our limitations. Digital allowed us to showcase our pre-colonial gold collection at the Fianve Festival in Bern, Switzerland. The event theme, A Feast for the Senses, featured Philippine gastronomy, culture and heritage, and travel activities. This digital capability allowed us to showcase our collection, transcending physical and national boundaries. So here's the QR code. If you want to watch a glimpse on the ginto or gold, glimpse into the Philippine Golden Age. The museum remained dedicated to leveraging various platforms by curating engaging content in our webpage. For example, select pieces from our art collection are curated throughout various locations within the central bank, offering guests an exclusive preview into the art collection. The general public, however, may get to enjoy this through its complementary collection or interactive online exhibit. Ongoing at the moment is this exhibit on refining perspectives, featuring portrait paintings from the BSP art collection. The online version of this is found at the BSP's website. We have also been publishing books to offer comprehensive overview of the BSP collection. This initiative began with Barilla, a publication produced in the 1970s on the bank's numismatics collection. And this has progressed into producing meticulously researched museum, coffee table books, and research publications that are themselves collectibles. And to make knowledge from these books accessible to a wider public, we are actually complemented with digital formats, which the public may access for free via our website. We also permit the use of images of our collection for scholarly publications, supporting an educational mission common to all museums. Examples include The Surrealism Beyond Borders by the Metropolitan Museum of New York, which featured Flagellantes by an artist, Galo Ocampo, under an essay by Dr. Patrick Flores on Catholicism and Surrealism in the Philippines. We also featured Niño Dormido, an 18th century ivory religious image, featured in an essay by Dr. Flarina Capistrano Baker for the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies, published in 2023. And most recently, another painting by Felix Martinez on Recuerdos y Antipolo, dated 1883, for the essay Estuarine, for the book Can the Sea Survive Us, by the Sainsbury Centre, University of East Anglia in the UK. So this provides researchers and scholars from other parts of the world to learn about the Philippines using the central bank's collection. Like most museums today, we have turned to the use of social media to promote, educate, and expand reach cost-effectively. By developing thematic social media content, we continue to connect with audiences even when physical attendance is limited. Through this, we are able to track our engagement, generate data analytics to assist us in developing future initiatives. In 2022, the BSP launched Projections, a public art initiative featuring projection mapping of digital images on our DigiWall. This allowed us to exhibit select art collections from our bank to be accessed by passers-by and the commuting public. In 2023, the BSP produced a special digital project based on a 2023 calendar, and we dubbed it Handog, Mother Nature's Gift to Humanity. The calendar content featured 12 artworks from the collection with an augmented reality complement on some of them. So we sought permissions from the artists on the use of the images when we applied the augmented reality or the AR. So this particular digital initiative earned the BSP a Gold Stevie Award in 2022 for innovation in government websites. And as the world re-emerges from the pandemic, we also resumed our revitalized collaborative efforts. And in 2023, we partnered with a local museum, Museo ni Emilio Aguinaldo, a historical museum run by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Philippine independence. So here we organized a special off-site exhibition dubbed Minting the Revolution, Forging a Nation, highlights from the BSP collection. The exhibit, both on-site and online, highlighted the communicative role of numismatics through semiotics. This exhibition was simultaneously viewed on-site at the Emilio Aguinaldo Shrine, which is in the province, BSP head offices in Manila, and the BSP regions and branches all throughout the Philippines, and of course, online through our BSP page. And to further highlight, so this is that. So to further highlight numismatic, we also introduced a hybrid lecture series called Conversations. This effort brings together field experts to explore numismatic from scholarly perspectives. This educational platform aims to deepen appreciation and foster dialogue between numismatic and history and current bank practices initiatives of the central bank. This year's Conversations will highlight gold and minting, and this will happen in November of this year for the Philippines Numismatic Month. We're happy to share that we launched this last year, and for this year, it will expand into a lecture series at 3 different venues this time to discuss topics on Casa de Moneda history in the Philippines, Peso Fuertes, the advent of banknote in the Philippines, and chapmark Spanish coins, which is Philippine Chinese history in the Philippines as well. And this collection shall be conversing with the BSP's mint and refinery programs. The BSP or the museum also loans its collection to exhibitions for qualified museums. Earlier this year, we partnered with the Ayala Museum in the Philippines for the Gold of the Ancestors Pre-Colonial Treasures in the Philippines. And this will run until May 2027. For this, the BSP loaned 38 pieces of its pre-colonial gold to reunite closely related objects from the Philippines' 2 most important collections. These artifacts, discovered in Surigao in Mindanao, are believed to have been assembled around the same period. This 3-year collaboration with the Ayala Museum includes exhibitions, public programs, of course, social media content and postings, a publication on Surigao pre-colonial gold for 2025, and an international conference on pre-colonial gold for 2026. This is not the first time that the BSP loaned its collection to qualified museums. Some of this gold were loaned also to Musée de Quai in France in 1990 and 2013, and the Asia Society in New York in 2015. To close, the digital space provides the public with an unparalleled access to the BSP collection, transcending geography, temporal, or logistical barriers. But while digital platforms provide valuable opportunities for broader reach, they cannot entirely replicate the unique experiences of interacting with physical objects. And recognizing this, that digital is essential to our evolving future, the Museo Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is adapting a phygital approach. As we prepare for the museum's reopening, this strategy of blending physical and digital hopes to enhance museum engagement to cater to the dynamic needs of the expanding, future, and diverse museum audiences. Thank you for your attention.